I had a great analogy the other day that the transfer window is a bit like the London Marathon at the moment. Loads of people poised on the start line, some in fancy costumes, not sure what they're doing. Everybody just waiting to be told they can go. What is the situation with signing players at the moment?
Well, at the moment, it's all on hold, put simply. There's lots of debate about when the transfer window will open, when it will close, all this kind of stuff. So it's really difficult. It's one of the things that we're all waiting to hear. The EFL's been trying to lobby that we needed more time for a transfer window, and again, traditionally the transfer window opens after the season's finished. The season hasn't finished, and it isn't going to finish for quite a while. So again, it can't be right that you'd be signing a player, even if he can't play for you, that's already still playing games in another club. And obviously people move down the pyramid, so championship players could be playing, and if you're not careful, you could be signing for another club while they're playing for the previous one. Are they going to be committed? This is lives and careers on the line here, so it makes it very complicated. So everything gets pushed back, so you end up with a shorter window. Traditionally the window's 12 weeks from whenever it starts. So say starts on the it opens on the 1st of August. 12 weeks after that we're going to be playing games and out doing transfers in mid-season.
There seemed a genuine desire to change SCMP, to bring in salary caps, to look at wages in terms of what a club actually has really got in the bank. Is that still on the table, or again, because of the situation, will that be pushed back?
Well, I think it's worth remembering where all this came from. After Bolton, and in particular after Bury, there was a feeling that clubs should be restricted in their spending to stop them running out of money and going bust and end up going out of business. So that's notwithstanding COVID and everything. So for well over a year there's been a lot of discussions within the EFL about how to make that work, and the rules for divisional rules being different, so that the pressures on a championship club in terms of losses are different to a League Two club, because they're competing with parachute clubs. So if you restrict the losses on many clubs who haven't got parachute payments, then the competition can get distorted. It's not an easy fix. So this has been going on for absolutely ages. We got some draft rules about a month ago with a cap on the spending that clubs in League Two would be able to do starting in 2021. That was based on a survey of what clubs had said they wanted, and I've previously said that clubs have been quite strong and vocal in wanting to restrain spending and make clubs more viable and less reliant on owners and benefactors to put money in to cover their losses. Since the rules came out, there's been a kind of a softening of approach. In my time in the game, this is not surprising. You usually find that when it comes to spending money, clubs, owners will talk a lot about not spending, but when push comes to shove, they find it difficult to rein that in, so rules get softened, and I think that's where we're going with the direction here. So we've had a redrafting of the rules with some softer restrictions, which means clubs will be able to spend more than they might have thought even a month ago. So again, it's another example of, if we'd have gone out and spent our budget and planned to spend our budget based on the rules that were being floated a month ago, they're out the window. We've got something else coming. So whether these are eventually get adopted, again, remains to be seen. The plan is that they'll be put forward for clubs to vote on, but I sense a softening, and it may be that COVID overtakes this and clubs decide, oh, we've got enough on, we'll deal with it in a year's time. I hope not. I'd be really disappointed. I was really disappointed that they've softened to where they are now. And I said that to the league, but it's club rule. The rules of the EFL are driven by the clubs. The clubs vote for them, and if there's not an appetite to take this strong medicine to improve the viability of clubs, then clubs have only got themselves to blame. The problem is that eventually it's not only the clubs that bear the consequences, it's the communities and the fans, as we've seen with another club going down with Wigan. So these things are serious matters, and it kind of disappoints me that at a time like this, when we've had the fragility of football finances being put right under the spotlight and clubs calling for bailouts, that we're not prepared to follow through on some of the talk that goes on in these meetings about actually putting our own house in order. And it disappoints me, gotta say it.
You've more than hinted at it there, because one of the problems the EFL has had in the very recent past is an owner will step forward and say, I don't care what you say, there's a few million going into my club and we're doing it this way. Will that cut off in any way at all?
I think there'll be some restrictions, but there's still scope for clubs to make losses, and still scope for clubs who to put themselves at risk if their owners can't ultimately fulfil it. What you tend to get is clubs run into trouble. Those who are bankrolled run into trouble because the person who's bankrolling them either runs out of money or chooses no longer to put it in and wants to get out. And the more losses that you make, you're more at risk that you are from those sort of situations. But that's the choice that clubs continue to make.